The true nature of time. When we are born, God gives us a finite amount of time. God opens an account for us with so much of God's currency, the most precious commodity on earth. And very rarely does God tell us our account balance. How we spend this time makes up our life. God gives us the freedom to spend it as we please, but He gives us no refunds, no exchanges, no second chances. Once an hour of our life is gone, it is gone forever. If we later decide what we spent that hour of time on wasn't worth it, it's too late. We all get the same 24 hours per day. So hour by hour we must make choices as to how we will construct our days and our life. So time is life, and when given to our children, time is love. You cannot convince a child with whom you spend no time with that you love them. Time is God's most precious gift, and you can tell a lot about people's values and priorities by watching how they spend God's currency. Many of us are not completely free in determining how we spend much of our time. We have to work, we have obligations we must fulfill, but this is all the more reason why we must think carefully how we spend those few precious hours that do belong to us and to our family.
An Amish mother is a teacher, helper, moral guidance counselor, and a loving friend. In the Amish home, unlike the typical English home, much time is shared in cooking together. Favorite family recipes are handed down from one generation to the next, not merely on recipe cards, but by doing step by step. Amish mothers take delight in teaching their daughters their unique old-world cooking style. An Amish mother loves to cook, and because she has so many helpers, it becomes an act of love rather than just a duty. When one person is burdened with all of the work of feeding a family, it's hard to enjoy cooking, but in an Amish home, that's not the case. The simple act of cooking together brings children closer to one another. These are the memories that will be cherished as they grow older. Young women are taught as they enter adulthood to be a future homemaker. Youngsters can always depend on a loving sibling whenever mom is busy. Amish mothers understand that children need to be needed. They know that if children participate in taking care of their family, they will grow up to be the type of person that likes to help rather than to be helped. When a child learns this, it is one of life's most important lessons, one that takes us beyond the confines of self. Teenagers learn to work together cooperatively, helping mom take care of the family, not only by cooking, but in many other areas of daily life. The Amish community is well known for its cooperation amongst its neighbors, and this is where it's learned, at home. Amish teenage girls do not spend time worrying about their appearance. They have a natural beauty and a rosiness that comes from living in the country, where they are close to nature and fresh air and getting lots of physical exercise. They don't have the need to look like a model. They are beautiful because they are able to accept themselves as they are, without constantly comparing themselves to others. They realize at a young age, like most older women in our society do, that everything is not about you. A very famous author once said, that only when a woman ceases the fretful struggle to be beautiful can she turn her gaze outward and find the beautiful in life. This is something that Amish women know and celebrate, that they have transcended the body and what other people value. Since the 1700s, Amish women have been taught to flee from all attention from themselves. To want attention for yourself is considered prideful, which is an Amish sin. The Bible teaches us in 1 Timothy that serving God does make us very rich if we are satisfied with what we have. We have brought nothing into the world, so we take nothing out. But if we have food and clothes, we will be satisfied with that. Those who want to become rich bring temptation to themselves and are caught in a trap. They want many foolish and harmful things that ruin and destroy people. The love of money causes all kinds of evil. Some people have left the faith because they wanted to get more money, but they have caused themselves much sorrow. The closeness and bonds developed among Amish sisters during their teen years carries over into their adult lives. The Amish have what is referred to as Sisters' Day, where sisters come together and help each other with their work and spend time together, catching up on one another's lives and families. An Amish woman's life is exactly like her mother's life and her mother's life before her. An Amish woman's life is dedicated to preserving all that is dear and important to her, her faith, her family, and her community. In James 1, it states, "My brothers and sisters, when you have many kinds of troubles, you should be full of joy, because you know that these troubles test your faith, and this will give you patience. Let your patience show itself perfectly in what you do. Then you will be perfect and complete and will have everything you need." The dinner hour isn't just about eating. It should be about teaching, listening, and loving. When one is thankful, one is in essence praying. Not all of our prayers should be asking, but rather thanking God for all that we have. When one is truly thankful, God's abundance increases. In chapter 4, Philippians, we learn, "Do not worry about anything, but pray and ask God for everything you need, always giving thanks. And God's peace, which is so great we cannot understand it, will keep your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. I have learned to be satisfied with the things I have and with everything that happens. I know how to live when I am poor, and I know how to live when I have plenty. I have learned the secret of being happy at any time in everything that happens. I can do all things through Christ because He gives me strength."
Growing up Amish in the country heartland of Ohio is very unique indeed. Amish children delight in the natural world that surrounds them. These boys are collecting fallen branches that will later be crafted into a play plow. The little girls follow behind as their brothers lead the way through the cow pasture to school. The Amish, a one-room schoolhouse is all that is needed to teach the 3 R's of education. Reading, writing, and arithmetic supplies the basic education needed for life in an Amish farming community. The rest of their education comes from hands-on training at home. Amish children spend a great deal of their time socializing among one another. When not playing their favorite game of baseball, they play games of tag or swing or just explore. On rainy days, they play checkers or other board games. The Amish have fought a long, hard battle with local and state governments to be able to educate their children in their own way. They object to high school and college basically because the values taught are totally different than Amish values and the Amish way of life. Where secular education emphasizes intellectual and scientific achievements, along with competitiveness and worldly success, the Amish society emphasizes informal learning through hands-on experience. Community welfare rather than competition is their goal. And the Amish are Amish because they believe in the importance of remaining separate from the world, not conforming to a worldly society. Proverbs teaches us that every young person who listens to the Lord and obeys His instructions will be given wisdom and good sense. It is the Lord who grants wisdom. His very word is a treasure of knowledge and understanding. For wisdom and truth will enter the very center of your being, filling your life with joy. The Amish like the word joy. They say the letters stand for Jesus is first, others are second, you are last. But by putting oneself last, one becomes freed from the constant need of fulfilling one's own ego, which never leads to joy and contentment. Amish textbooks are printed by an Amish publishing house and stress values of humility, duty, truthfulness, orderliness, and cooperation. Religion is not taught in school. It is considered too sacred and should be taught at church and in the home. Each day does begin with the Lord's Prayer and a selected Bible reading. Because Amish children work and help around the farm and home, when they have the opportunity to play, they really play. Like most kids, however, putting on a show for the camera is just about as fun as anything else.
Every August in Mount Hope, Ohio, Amish and Mennonite churches hold an annual Haiti benefit auction. The Ohio Haiti Benefit Auction is a cooperative effort of many churches and individuals to bring relief to the hungry, the sick, the naked, and the homeless people of Haiti. The Amish have several missions in Haiti in an effort to bring them the message of Christ. Relief is given throughout the country of Haiti without regard to race, religion, color, or creed. Haiti is a small island located 750 miles southwest of Florida. It is about the size of Maryland. There are approximately 6 million people cramped on this small island. That equals 600 people per square mile. The U.S. average is 70 people per square mile. One well with a hand pump needs to furnish up to 500 people with water. There are only 7 doctors per 100,000 people. Compare this to 176 doctors per 100,000 here in the U.S. 11% of all babies die at birth, and 40% die before the age of 2. Indeed, the need for relief on this small island is great. Every quilt, craft, piece of furniture, and toy is donated. Although the auction will raise over $200,000, with the exception of a few undonated expenses, every dime of that goes to their relief missions. If there is anything that the Amish are known for, it's their compassion. Whenever a neighbor, friend, or community is in need of help or relief, the Amish and the Mennonites are there. Compassion to the Amish is not just a hand out, but a hand up. They believe in helping people to help themselves. When the Amish visit Haiti, they will not hand money to street beggars because they believe they should help that person in other ways, such as giving them food and shelter and spiritual direction. Although the Amish do not seek converts, the Amish understand that when you just give someone a handout just to get rid of them, you are not really helping them to solve their problems. The Amish do not go round bragging that they are doing something great. It is not something extraordinary to them. Very rarely do they even make mention of it. It is just so spontaneous and natural for them to help others. Compassion is the highest form of love. When one is compassionate, one gives expecting nothing in return. The Amish missions in Haiti are a true expression of the biblical teaching of James chapter 2, in which he says, a brother or sister in Christ might need clothes or food. If you say to that person, God be with you, I hope you stay warm and get plenty to eat, but you do not give what that person needs, your words are worth nothing. These missions in Haiti are there only to help and share the love of their Lord. This type of service to one's brother and sisters, even though thousands of miles away, is true discipleship to the Lord Jesus Christ. And the Amish are every bit as dedicated to helping their neighbors close to home as well. An Amish person will often take off from their job or work to help a neighbor who is in need. Many of these quilts take hundreds of hours of cutting and sewing to create. Amish handmade quilts are regarded by many as fine collectible works of art. This one is going to go for $2,200. The Bible teaches us in the first epistle of John, chapter 3, that this is how we know what real love is. Jesus gave his life for us, so we should give our lives for our brothers and sisters. Suppose someone has enough to live and sees a brother or sister in need, but does not help, then God's love is not living in that person. My children, we should love people, not only with words and talk, but by our actions and true caring.
Sold, $2,200. Thank you.
Before we view an Amish funeral, let's step inside of an Amish casket maker's workshop as he explains what goes into making these plain and simple coffins.
How long does it take to make one of these?
It takes me about a day to do it. Once it's sanded and pegged and glued, I can get one out and also usually give it one coat of finish in a day. If we have to make a special size, we just work longer hours and try to get it done in a day's time so the undertaker can pick it up. The wood is redwood, and there's really no square point on the whole casket. It's has the ends are hard to fit together because it's oval shape. It's 1.5 inches wider at the top than at the bottom. Naturally, the bottom's 1.5 inches. Both end, the lower end is actually 3 inches short, narrower than the top end is here. But this end is 1.5 inches shorter than this end, and that's why it makes it tough to get everything to fit right. I like to make 2 at a time, because if I got the saw and everything set to make one, I like to, like the bottom, it gets routed out, the ends get routed out, and to get your saw and your dados and everything set perfect, you can easily do 2 instead of just do 1, about in the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy before my father-in-law, he made them for 24 years. They were always made with the flat lid and the way they're shaped today. They're always made the same. Like, wouldn't be my competitors, but the guy within 20 miles that makes them, their lids are made different and the box is square. So it's a little bit, they're built a little bit different than what ours are.
The Amish accept death gracefully. With the parents living at home, their gradual loss of health prepares the family, usually well in advance, for the final passage. The Amish prefer to die at home. Dying in a hospital is avoided whenever possible. In times of prolonged illness, death often comes as a blessing, the final benediction to a fruitful life and entry into the eternal bliss of heaven. News of a death spreads throughout the Amish community by word of mouth, and the community springs into action. Core Amish values, simplicity, humility, neighborly love, and support all come into expression during funeral preparations. Following a death, the family makes a list of persons who need to be notified personally and invited to the funeral. Relatives who live a greater distance are usually notified by telephone of a non-Amish neighbor. Volunteers consisting of family and friends in the local church district are appointed to full responsibility of all necessary work and arrangements. Fortunately for the Amish family who has suffered the loss of a family member, few decisions need to be made of which well-established tradition has not provided. Relatives and neighbors relieve the bereaved family of all farm and household work, funeral arrangements, and other responsibilities. This allows the immediate family to spend their time with relatives and visitors who come to the home to pay their final respects. The horse-drawn hearse leads the long procession of carriages from the home to the cemetery. Amish cemeteries are usually located on the edge of a farm. The Amish family is not confronted with all the various decisions and funeral arrangements faced by the typical non-Amish family at such a time. The Amish community relieves the bereaved family of all the tension and stresses associated with such decisions as choosing a coffin, place of burial, as well as all the various financial worries associated with the loss of a loved one or spouse. The non-Amish undertaker moves the body to a funeral home for embalming only. No cosmetic improvements are made. The body is returned home in a simple, handmade wood coffin within a day. Family members of the same sex will dress the body in white, which is the only time Amish ever wear white clothing. The white garment symbolizes the passage into heaven and God's eternal care. Amish women are often dressed in the white cape and white apron worn at their wedding. Friends, church members, and relatives visit the family and view the body in a room on the first floor, usually the living room. The body is shown for 2 days prior to the funeral. Community and church volunteers dig the grave by hand in a nearby family or church cemetery. The funeral service is held on the morning of the 3rd day after death. During the hour-and-a-half-long service, various ministers read hymns and scriptures, prayers and sermons. Eulogies are not given, and singing, flowers, burial tents, limousines, and sculpted monuments are not used. A brief final viewing will take place at the graveside, and a service about dusk to dusk takes place as pallbearers lower the handleless coffin into the ground using rope or straps, and the bishop reads a hymn. A small, equal-sized tombstone will mark the place of the deceased. The Amish are referred to as the plain people for good reason. Even in death, simple dignity is expressed. The most important part of the person has departed. The bishop reads his prayer. We have now laid his body to rest. We have gone as far as we can go with his body. Then God will come with his many angels. The dead will rise and go with God. Those who are repentant on this earth will be taken away in the blink of an eye. Therefore, with every action and deed, in all that you say and do, remember that you too have to die. Wearing a black dress in public for as long as a year is common for bereaved women close to the deceased. Death is no less painful for the Amish than for us. Nevertheless, death is accepted in the spirit of Gelassenheit, the ultimate surrender to God's higher will. Comforted by family, friends, and religious rituals that help them to submit quietly to the Lord's divine purpose. Now that the ceremony is over, close friends, church, and family members will return to the home for a simple meal consisting of cheese, trail bologna, potato salad, and bread brought by cousins, friends, and members of the local congregation.
But when we must make choice, help us, Lord, to Ruth, she's a year younger than us, she's 15. And me and Ida were twins, we're 16. This next song we like to sing is one of our favorite songs. We started ever since we were 4 years old. We like to dedicate this song to Mom and to all the mothers that are here. Somebody somewhere was praying that night when Jesus came in and I saw the light. It must have been Mama, so I'd heard her before, as she knelt by her bedside and tears touched the floor. Thank you, Mama, for praying for me. If you had not prayed,
from God. A child and a parent should feel respect for each other, not fear. When a child cringes at the slightest word or command from a parent, it is neither respectful nor Christian. Amish parents often read to their children to both teach and entertain. Here, an Amish mother is teaching a favorite Amish schoolroom verse, which goes, "I must be a Christian child, gentle, patient, meek, and mild. Must be honest, simple, true. I must cheerfully obey, giving up my will and way."
Why are we so fascinated with the Amish? Do they possess something we want, something we don't have? How is it that their plain and simple lifestyle and religious faith gives them such an inner wisdom, strength, and sense of purpose? It is hard for most of us to understand because we have lost touch with our own inner source.